Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Woolly Thistle Shopcast, Maggie. This is a very special episode, our 200th episode, and we're celebrating 7 years this July, 7 years in business, which I can't believe. It's gone by so fast. And I wouldn't recognize it today, I don't think, from what we started with. So anyway, lots to talk about. And we're going to do this as a recorded part, and then we're going to have a live, and you may have seen the live already by the time you're watching this.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to, so thank you for being here. My name is Corinne. I own the Woolly Thistle, and Maggie here is our wonderful manager of product development and a bunch of other things that you help me out with. And we have a whole team working away, and right now they're very busy back there packing Dunrobin.
Yeah.
And thank you so much if you came out for that and ordered your kit and or course, but I'm sure we'll get into all of that.
Yeah. So I do want to say, because I know we have many viewers who, when this goes live on Friday morning, they watch it right away. So if you're watching this live on Friday morning, the 14th, first of all, happy cast on day for our socks.
And it's our cast on day, yes.
And we'll be going live today on YouTube, which I've never done. So we're doing that to celebrate our 200th episode and our birthday month. So we're going to give that a try.
Yeah.
So if you want to join us at 12:30 Eastern time, we will be live here on YouTube.
Yes. Yes.
Please be patient with us, because as I just
mentioned, we
haven't done this before.
We'll be there, but we might not be there. But we'll be working to be there.
Exactly.
We will show up for sure.
We'll see. Today's Monday when we're recording. We've got lots of time to practice between now and then. Although I don't know how you practice going on live.
I don't know
YouTube
either.
Channel without going live.
You just show up really fast.
So
yeah, no, I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be fun, and I hope that you catch that. Okay, so what do we have today that we want to do in this part?
We have lots today. We have Caitlin joining us with a segment. She's been on vacation, so this will be a good one.
Yeah.
We have Rachel from Fair Isle catching up with us, and we also have a guest segment from Kathy in Michigan,
which is so good.
It is so good.
Yes, so really excited to share those with you. Just a quick plug that if you are a viewer and you want to submit something like Kathy's, or showing us your WIPs and your FOs, we encourage that. We want to share these segments with everyone on our platform, so feel invited. And I think there is a form on the website that you can get in touch with us through.
Yes, and we've moved it now. It's easier to find in navigation. It's if you go to the main header menu, it is under Connect, and it says Guest Contributor.
There you go. So just fill that in and we'll get back to you. Well, let's get started then.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to show us?
I do.
Yay.
I do. I have a couple of things, actually. So I've got...
Oh, let's go. Isn't she adorable?
So she's all finished.
She's so
in her
pretty.
little dress.
She's like the cover girl. Yeah.
So Nana Duck is all done. Nana is from Mouche and Friends, which is up there behind us. It is back in stock right now.
Let me have a quick shifty. Yeah, this sold out very quickly the first time it came in, and now it's just been restocked again.
So I recorded a little reel here, and I got a couple of good questions in my DMs on Instagram. One of them being, I know, isn't the squirrel? She might be next. I think.
Are you going to be knitting more?
I think Nana needs some friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? Nana needs friends. But in my DMs, I forget who, but somebody was asking what level of knitter you need to be to complete something.
Great question.
And the book really walks you through.
Hold on. I'm sorry, but it's a donkey going shopping with his carrots.
He's adorable. So one of the things I really liked about this book, I've knit a lot of toys over the years, so some of this I didn't need, but it was really, really handy. At the beginning of the book, here you can see in the table of contents, there's all these lessons.
Yeah.
So for every step, she uses similar techniques throughout multiple patterns. So there's lots of lessons at the beginning.
Also, she's using a lot of cables and color work and different things. So it's a nice way to dip your toe into different techniques.
The little raccoon. Orangutan. So cute. So I know. I need some. She needs some friends.
She does, to put her little arm around.
So yeah. I mean, the author Cynthia does such a good job of really preparing you and showing you through illustration the techniques that you need to knit each of the items.
Adventurous beginner, would you say, or would it be more intermediate?
Probably adventurous beginner or an advanced beginner. If you're most of the patterns do call for like either 00 or size 1 needles.
So small gauge.
So small gauge fingering weight, and the reason you want such a small gauge with that fingering weight is actually with toys you do want really tight fabric.
Yeah.
You could use either magic loop or DPNs. I really like my DPNs, so that's mostly what I did.
Yeah.
She does walk you step by step. If you really don't like size 0s, you could always go up to like a size 1 and maybe use a slightly thicker yarn.
Right, and then you end up with a slightly
You'll get a slightly bigger animal, but you'll
that's
still
okay.
get a perfect little
still very
animal.
cute. I actually like DPNs for small circumferences, you know, like this.
Yeah.
I find magic loop a bit, you know.
And the way that she does it, it was really interesting. You really knit the duck. I knit the duck all in one piece. It was absolutely genius. You start at the beak, you build it up, and then she uses short rows for all the shaping. You do sometimes have, like when you're working a wing, you have a bunch of stitches sort of on hold that are live and waiting, and then you work down the different features, and you've like short rows to build the little
the hooky. Love it.
My daughter keeps like lifting her dress and being like, her butt's so big. That's just what it is.
She's a duck butt.
I think that this, if you're an adventurous beginner, definitely give it a try.
Yes.
They're
just lovely. And so what do you think you'll be knitting next out of here? Are you ready to commit? Or
I'm not ready to commit yet. Oh, and I didn't mention, I did use all Jamieson and Smith 2-ply for everything.
Yeah.
Duck and dress.
Yeah. What else do you have for us?
I have one other project. So I cast on and finished a DRK Everyday Cowl.
Ooh.
Using some of my handspun.
It's beautiful.
So now I need to block it. She says to block it before you
join it.
I'm hoping it fits me. If not,
yeah,
I think it'll
will.
Be good. If not, it'll fit Irene.
What weight yarn is it? Sort of a DK or?
Yeah, like sport DK.
Sport.
So it wasn't the most even.
It's beautiful.
Yarn, but that's okay. It all works out in the knitting.
You're so talented, Maggie.
And this was a really fun and addictive knit. I just kind of picked it up impulsively. And
I like that it's on the bias like that.
I thought that it was fun. You start here at this corner where my stitch marker is, and you work sideways. And I'll be honest, last night when I was binding off, this is like your bind off row, and I was like, how does this kind of go together? And I had to look at her. Also, I won Yarn Chicken.
Oh, well done, you.
Can I just say, like, that's it.
That's close.
That was close.
Yeah.
So
good job.
But it was nice because it was one of those that used up. I think I had used some of this in a hat that I had knit, the West Knits hat that I knit last year. So it was nice. This is like the entirety of the skein. So it's
all gone.
So
good. Well done, you.
I've been thinking about gift knitting already.
Oh my gosh.
Because
it's July.
So
I can't believe it's July.
And I think that this pattern would make a wonderful. She gives you instructions too if you want to stripe it, or fade it, or lots of instructions. Great for handspun, but great for...
Your handspun is so gorgeous. It really is amazing.
I did just finish a spin, but I forgot to grab it this time.
Well, I did. I warped my yarn not onto the loom yet, but just onto the warping board. Yeah, so I did that. I used Jamieson and Smith. I had 2 cones at home.
Nice.
Set them on the floor, and off I went. And was like, okay, that's it. And then I realized that I'd done my cross wrong. So that became a rat's nest very quickly. So we started over, and now I've got it all chain plied, as it were. And the loom is all built and ready to go. So what I don't have right now is a little I don't know what you call it, the little hook that you use to get through the dents.
Yeah.
So I ordered one of those, and it's coming, and when it does, I will start, and I'm going to warp on back to front is how we learned. So I'm going to do that, see if I can remember. Not sure I can, but anyway, I really enjoyed the whole warping board thing. That was fun. And I'm still knitting on my Halligarth, and I've reached a very exciting part.
Ooh, nice and big.
It has gotten quite big, hasn't it? So let's have a wee look, a wee shifty. It's on waste yarn, Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa!
Oh, it's so pretty.
Yes, it is gorgeous. I love
This
it.
is gonna be huge.
So I still have to do, and that's what these needles are. I'm going to start picking up around the end and do an applied border,
Oh.
and it goes around the top as well. But
You're gonna need a bigger needle.
I know. I did all this on that needle though,
Wow.
which is just ridiculous. This length needle, and I got all this out of it. So I am really looking forward to blocking this and just seeing how it blocks out.
And what yarn are you using?
Oh, this is Rambler from the Woolly Thistle. I am loving it. It feels nice in the hand, and it's doing very nice things with the lace. There's so many fudges in here, I will admit.
That's all right.
I'm hoping that it's okay. I just can't rip back the whole thing all the time.
No.
And you learn quickly where you can fudge, but isn't it lovely? It's just
is.
really, really going to be gorgeous. And
That's
this is
gonna be amazing when it's blocked.
it's a Gudrun Johnston Brooklyn tweed design, I think.
Okay.
And I've had it in my queue for yonks and finally did it. So this was for our hat. No, for our shawl cowl. So I'm still knitting away on that because I'm really motivated to finish. And that's really it for my knitting.
Nice.
Still, I'm very monogamous right now.
I'm not.
In the truest sense of the word, one at a time.
Yeah.
Who is it? I think I heard Emma say that she was monogamous with only 2 or 3 projects. I'm like, spoken like a knitter.
Yeah. Yeah. With knitting, monogamy is just not my thing.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure, for sure. But I am being very...
I go through times and moments where I have one project that I'm focused on.
That's
but for the
where
most
I
part,
am right now. Yeah, I don't have more than 2 or 3 actually physically ever going at the same time. That I'm, that's not in timeout.
Right.
But I really am just on that, and I'm.
How many do you have in timeout? Like if we counted the ones in timeout.
So I started cawing my knits. Did you caw your knits?
I did.
So all my knits are in a walk-in closet that has basically, since I moved into that house a year ago, has been, dumped. So cawing my knits became cawing the walk-in closet.
Okay.
Haven't quite got to the knits yet. But the closet you can move around in now.
Yay.
Yes. So
you'll
I'm
get
going
to
with
the
that. I'll get to the knits.
If you
There's a pile.
had to estimate though, like how many were in the
I don't know.
languishing whip.
There's probably
pile.
5 or 7.
Okay,
Nothing
so
terrible.
nothing-
I've never been one for multiple or double digits, never. So although I could surprise myself, but no, I typically, if something is languishing and I know I'm not going to finish it, it gets ripped out anyway in the course of things. So, but there's a lot of yarn in there. There is a lot of balled up yarn. So I definitely could go shopping in my closet. Yeah.
I did caw my knits.
Good.
The most surprising thing was how many single socks I found. Because I've never been that person before.
So
like this is the first time.
interesting.
Usually I knit one, I knit the other. I've never really had second sock syndrome.
Do you know what? Knowing you though, I don't believe that. You have often been knitting first socks, I think.
Lately. Yeah. Lately for sure. But in years past.
You always did the pair?
I always did the pair. Yeah, so we have our sock sprint that starts today.
Oh, yes.
So what I'm going to, I think what I'm going to try to do is
This is a good
finish
plan.
second socks and not actually
Try and get at least 2
start
done.
new socks.
Yeah, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
Yay.
Yeah,
So
the most horrifying thing about cawing my knits was that I had to go to the stash. Of which I hope I never show you all a photo. Because it's exceeded if I have any more yarn, I'm gonna run out of bins to put it in, and I don't want to get another bin. So
it's not so bad.
It's not so bad. It's good. It's all good yarn, and it's fine.
Yeah, you just keep doing your math. What was it?
Addition by subtraction.
Subtraction by addition.
Subtraction by addition.
I love that.
Yes.
You need that on a t-shirt.
Yeah,
that's too funny.
Well, because sometimes you do need to get something else to get a
You do. Yes, exactly.
But.
So, well, that's good. Good. And so are you going to be knitting along with us in the sock sprint? I hope so. This is a personal best. You're not competing with anybody else. You're just trying to knit a pair of socks in 2 weeks.
Yes.
You may get more done. You may get less done. It's fine.
There's always somebody who finishes the pair in 2 days.
Oh yeah.
It's
And then
okay.
knits, another several pairs.
It's okay if that's not you.
And it's okay if that is you.
And
it's
yeah.
all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
And for our sock sprint, we invite everybody to join in. So go to your stash, any yarn, any pattern.
Just get knitting socks with us in
Yeah.
the July heat of everything. And we'll have a Ravelry thread, and we'll have, a hashtag.
Mm-hmm.
And show us what you're knitting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show us any new designs you've found that are, exciting to you. That would be good.
Yeah.
Do you know what you're knitting yet?
You're
knitting
second
socks.
socks.
Gosh.
So I know one of them
Yeah.
will be the One More Step sock by Denise.
Mhm.
I knit the first one in Rambler.
I remember
and
that.
And I really liked it.
Yeah.
And it's just been sitting.
Good. Yeah. No,
Um,
I haven't because we're recording this on Monday. By Friday, I will know what I'm doing. Hopefully. Yeah.
Great.
Yes. Okay. What's next?
So I think next we're going to go to a segment. We're going to go to Kathy from Michigan.
Yes.
She sent us a segment. It was absolutely wonderful.
It
She
is.
shows us her finished victory cardigan, and she talks about the modifications that she made and how she made them.
And listen carefully because she is actually giving you a master class in how to adjust your knits. So we'll see you on the other side.
Hi, I'm Kathy from Michigan, and I'm wearing Corinne's Victory Cardigan, made with Rauma Vams in color number 404. I think you can see I added some lace to the bottom, a little bit to the bottom of the sleeves. But other than that, all the changes I made were related to fit. And that's really the thing. For me, every pattern I make, I have to make adjustments for fit. And that was one of the reasons I was attracted to this particular pattern, because Corinne focused on the upper chest measurement, which ensures that the shoulders fit. And if the shoulders fit, all the other adjustments are manageable. The pattern also has a really good schematic, and it has measurements for all areas of the sweater, which is really helpful when you have to make fit adjustments. And so I thought I would talk a little bit about how I approach fit changes when I'm working with a pattern. So the first thing that I do is I find the size on the pattern that corresponds to my upper chest measurement, and I consider that my base size. So I'll go through a pattern and mark all the instructions for my base size. Then go through where I know my measurements are different from the base size and figure out a strategy. In this case, the biggest issue I have is my upper arms. My upper arms are really big, and in this pattern, my base size is a size F, but my upper arm, my sleeve that I need is a size K. So I literally need to go up 5 sizes to get the sleeve that's going to work for me. So what I'll do is I'll go to that section of the pattern and look at the difference in instructions between size F and size K. What I find, the first instruction for sleeves says pick up a number of stitches. And of course, the number of stitches for size F is different than size K. For size K, I need 10 more stitches. So that tells me that the shaping for the sleeve happens before the separation for the sleeves, the shaping that I need. And so I need to look at the raglan shaping to figure out where I can get those additional 10 stitches. So I'll look at the raglan shaping again and compare the size F instructions to the size K instructions. And what I find is, and what you'll typically find is in larger sizes, you're going to see more increased rounds. And that makes sense. You'll also notice that the armhole openings in size F versus a size K are different. And it turns out in this case, there's a little more than an inch difference in length from the size F to the size K. So what that tells me is that I can add a little more than an inch to the armhole opening and still stay within the pattern parameters. So at this gauge is around 5 rounds to an inch, so I'm going to make it even, call it 6 rounds. It looks like I'll be able to add 6 rounds to this raglan shaping to get some of my increases. Now, I'm not going to do an increase every single round because the shape of that is too dramatic. Usually you're going to have at least one straight round in between each increase round. So what I can do is I can do sets of increase, straight round, increase, straight round. So I can add 6 rounds, which will have 3 increase rounds in there, and each round has 2 increases. So that's going to give me 6 increases, 6 of the 10 that I need by adding these 6 rounds. Now the other adjustment, I still need 4 more stitches. And this one is actually easier because I'm going to look at the instructions for size F, and I'm going to pick 2 of the increase instructions, and I'm going to just double those increases. Now that doesn't mean I'm going to add an increase, do 2 in a row, but what I'll do is I'll separate those increases by a couple of stitches. What you usually see for increases is something like knit 2 within 2 stitches of the marker, increase, knit 2, move the marker, knit 2, increase. What I'm suggesting is knit 2 within 4 stitches of the marker, increase, knit 2, do another increase, knit 2, move the marker, knit 2, increase, knit 2, another increase. All I'm doing is adding increases 2 stitches out from the increases that are already called for in the pattern. I do that in 2 places, and now I've got the other 4 stitches that I need. So what I've done is by adding those double increases, I've made the shoulder cap a little bit wider, and by adding those extra rows, I've made the armhole opening a little bit longer, but I'm keeping it in the pattern parameters. You don't want to add any length beyond the pattern's largest size. In this case, I'm just getting to from a size F to a size K sleeve. And I'll do the same kind of adjustment on that same sleeve because I'm going to need to shorten that sleeve. I usually have to shorten sleeves at least 2 inches. And so similarly, I'm going to look at the instructions for the sleeve, and I'm going to eliminate 10 rounds. Then however many, in this case it would be decreases, however many decreases that I've eliminated, I'm going to double those up on the remaining increases. The remaining decreases. But using double decreases and double increases is a really easy way to keep the pattern really intact, just getting those stitches that you need in the places that you need them by doubling up. And adding or decreasing rows whenever you can, which is a little trickier. But honestly, the double decreases and double increases are one of the easiest ways to make pattern changes without really changing the instructions. And so that, in a nutshell, is my take on pattern adjustment. Thanks.
Well, didn't you enjoy Kathy and how she adjusts patterns for her own shape? So empowering, Maggie, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. And beautiful knitting, Kathy. Thank you so much for contributing. We really enjoyed it, and we know everybody else will have too. And again, just to give a plug for this, we really do want to hear from you and get videos and show us what you're knitting on out there in the world. So send them in.
Yeah, and if you'd like to contribute, it doesn't have to be a tutorial at all.
Just show us what you're
sharing
knitting.
What you've knit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely. Okay, what's next?
So what's next? We missed a winner at our last episode. Our apologies for missing a winner. So we're gonna we're gonna announce that winner now. That was missed from a previous episode. And then we're gonna put the winners from the last episode in our live today. So join us.
So join us in the live. You're gonna watch the live for the latest 2 winners.
Yes. So, but the missed winner from the previous episode is Erica Grinder, and Erica said, "Great podcast. I love hearing a bit about weaving and seeing your work from last week. Thank you, Caitlin, for her budget-minded suggestions. Love seeing your whips.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Erica. You can email us at info@thewoollythistle, put prize winner in all caps, and we will quickly get you your $25 gift card to the Woolly Thistle.
Exactly, and congratulations. And if you want to be in the running for our giveaway, our regular Shopcast giveaway, all you need to do is leave us a comment down below and give us a thumbs up to this video and be a subscriber of our channel, which is growing slowly. So thank you for that. Tell a friend, please tell a friend about the Woolly Thistle. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you can tell us that you told a friend too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think we missed mentioning at the beginning that we have made the Woolly Thistle Shopcast ad-free.
Yes.
So the best way to support us is really to pop over to the shop, and every purchase really helps us keep doing this.
Absolutely. Yes. And, you know, purchases, of course, but, you know, sharing us with a friend, signing up for a newsletter, any way that you can support us is truly appreciated. And, you know, I don't want to make too fine a point about this, but this year is hard for everybody and everybody's feeling the pinch. So if you can help spread the word so that folks know about the Woolly Thistle and what we do here and what a great community we are, that would be wonderful. So yes, ad-free, all ad-free on the YouTubes, which is nice because, you know, there's a lot of ads on YouTube.
I was watching something last night and mid-video an ad, and I was like,
Yeah.
I get
Like,
it.
what is happening?
I get it. It's okay, but
Yeah. Okay, so
we decided not to do that.
we decided not to.
Did we want to talk about Dunrobin?
No.
No.
Yes. Yes, let's talk about Dunrobin. So Dunrobin, the sweater kit. Yes, there it is. All launched just on Friday, so this is the Monday after. And thank you so much for showing up for the Dunrobin.
You were on the hot right now.
I didn't even realize that. Somebody told me.
I know I don't check the hot right now often.
Should have thunk. Like, but that would be too presumptuous, right?
Yeah.
But we did. We were on there, which is really exciting. And for, you know, for a flash, I'm sure.
Right.
But somebody caught it and told us, which was really exciting. That somebody was Molly, who owns Green Hope Farm. And I have a blog post coming out about my trip to visit Molly. She is a fellow business owner who has flower essences, and she grows them in her beautiful garden. And she has been in business for about 30 years as a mail order business, now an internet business like the Woolly Thistle. And we used to bump into each other at the post office back when we were working out of my home and growing. And she was the other business that was using the post office, very small village post office. And so, yes, anyway, it was her. She sent me an email. You're like, you're hot right now.
That is
I'm like, I didn't know. So, but thank you so much for making us hot right now and favoriting and purchasing the kit and all of that good stuff. It's going really, really well. And we hope that if you're still thinking about it, that you give it some serious thought. The Let Lopey version is fantastic, as is the Studio Donegal. And yeah, so we have a kit in either of these in lots of different colors.
Yeah.
And there's a course that right now is $10 off when you purchase it with your kit. That'll be ending very soon. So let that be something that pushes you over the edge if you're on the fence. Yeah. So we can talk more about them in the live too. But yes, just want to say thank you so much for ordering your kits. That's wonderful.
Perfect.
Yes. Well, let's go to Caitlin. Right, and then when we come back from Caitlin, we'll talk about we'll show you the birthday prizes, or you know, talk about that. And I'm sure there's a lot more to talk about too before we're done here. So Caitlin, what's she talking about today?
She's sharing part of her vacation. She's also sharing a new sock knitting little adventure.
Oh, good.
So off you go.
All right.
Hi everyone, so nice to be back with you again. I am Caitlin. I'm part of the Woolly Thistle team. I work remotely, mostly helping the knitting community and with emails and other little things that come along in the shop. And I love to come here every once in a while on the Shopcast to give you my updates on what I've been knitting and otherwise making. So I have just a few updates to share with you today, and also kind of a little special excerpt that hopefully some of you may find interesting. So first of all, I want to show you the sweater that I'm wearing, and then I have my current work in progress, and then I'll take you along on a little virtual field trip of something new. All right, so first of all, I want to say a quick hello to some sweet Shopcast viewers that I met just the other day. I'm not in my current surroundings are not my usual setting. I've been on vacation with family up in Michigan. Otherwise, I'm usually in Indianapolis, and got the chance to meet some really friendly Shopcast viewers up in northern Michigan the other day at their local yarn shop. And just wanted to say a nice hello to everyone from Wool and Honey up there in Traverse City area of Michigan. Yes, a friendly hello to all of you. So let's talk about the sweater that I'm wearing. A couple of episodes ago, I showed this in progress. This is called the Evendoon Pullover by Kate Davies. And it is a top-down raglan style, DK-ish weight pullover sweater. It's knit in the round, except for the very beginning where you start kind of building some short rows and then eventually connect to the front to make that a little bit of a drop-down neckline compared to the back. And the original has two versions of striping patterns, and I've done something completely different than those. As beautiful as they are, what I've done is created sort of a stash busting project with this. I grabbed all of my DK and worsted weight little balls of leftover yarns from projects past, and then this black, which was something I had in my stash already. It's a discontinued Patton's superwash. But what I did is I did these micro 1-row stripes with all of my random scraps and have created this, I'll show you the whole thing, this kind of scrappy long sleeve fun pullover sweater. It's just a little bit cropped, and has the stripes all around the back. You can see our discussion last time was about what to do with this seam. Having 1-row stripes, I just really couldn't figure out how to make the jog from one row to the next when you change colors less visible. Corinne had the suggestion of doing a crochet chain, kind of a faux seam look up the side, and then doing a sort of an extra one on the other side, even though there isn't a jog there, just to make it symmetrical. And I've just, finished this recently and didn't do that last step, but I think I will take that suggestion and do that. So yes, it's just a really fun, scrappy project. I love how it turned out. Just looking through all of these yarns and remembering what other projects they were a part of is really fun. And just one little note about how I chose colors as I was grabbing them from my knitting bag. I did try to be random, but didn't want, huge chunks of neutrals and then a couple of super brights. I wanted it to be pretty, for the colors to flow nicely throughout. So I did kind of do a little controlled choosing. For the sleeves, what I ended up kind of working out is I did one sleeve, and then for the other, I would look on the first sleeve and find like 5 or 6 colors that were coming up, and then I would switch their order, but still kind of use them up towards the top of the sleeve, and then kind of take the next chunk of 5 or 6 colors and work my way down. So that way they're very similar, but not exactly the same. I knew I was going to run out of a couple colors from one to the other. This neon green, I think, was one. No, maybe not. But anyway, it was super fun. And yeah, I recommend this sort of an idea for your stash busting projects if you are finding yourself with lots of scraps. So next, I have a whip to show you. This is, been a really fun travel project for me. I'm using WoolDreamers Saona, which is the latest yarn we've gotten in from them. It's a fingering weight wool and cotton blend from WoolDreamers in Spain. This beautiful label of the Saona River where their ancestors washed the wool. I am making the Argil tank by Clare Lakewood. It was in a Pom-Pom magazine several years ago. It's going to be this fun tank with a tie in the front. My version will be a little bit longer than this. I don't tend to wear very cropped things, but this has been a lot of fun to knit so far. I'm not crazy far along, and I should have made sure I was at the end of a row to show you this. This is the back so far. It's a really interesting construction I'll tell you about a little bit. Now I've got two colors going on here of the Saona. This one is 1985, darker, and for my contrast kind of garter bump rose, this one is called Fratelli, and this one is especially really pretty, kind of a light grayish with some little lavender and some navy flecks in there. So the whole thing is constructed really interestingly, like I said. It's knit from the bottom up, but in pieces. So I'm started on the back. I'm gonna be knitting up until I split for the two straps. I'll knit one strap for a while and then come back and knit the other strap for a while. And actually you're going to knit all the way up around the straps and into the front straps and reconnect it in the front. And then you can see here, you're reconnecting it and knitting just a little bit down the front. So this is kind of the yoke section. Then I'll already have this back piece going on. So then I'm going to pick up these stitches here and knit this way. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. You've got these long ties that are going to hang down and get bound off. And then I think you do a 3-needle bind off here. It's going to be really interesting. So yes, I'm a little bit nervous about how it's going to fit because it's not the kind of thing you can try on as you go, especially the length of the straps and the depth of the scoop. I took out a tank top of mine that I like the fit of, you know, the armhole depth and everything. So hopefully I can sort of mimic that. Yes, I'm really loving the fabric. It feels a little slow going. Maybe I haven't knit something fingering weight in a while. I've also been traveling and otherwise busy, but it's very sweatshirty and soft and not too difficult to work with. With that cotton content, sometimes you think the fabric or the yarn might not stretch as nicely and be a little bit harder to work your stitches. I find that it's still pretty enjoyable to work with. I'm really dreaming about a held double something in this yarn where maybe you could take two different colors and hold them together for kind of a marled sweatshirty sort of a garment. So I'm really loving working with Saona. I think we have just restocked it maybe a few days prior to when you're seeing this. So check that out in the shop. There's a couple of really beautiful kind of soft summery colors. And finally, I have something else to share with you that is not actually knitting related. This is something that kind of got me thinking because our sock sprint is launching today, I believe, as you're viewing this. We're going to be knitting socks for 2 weeks and hopefully finishing a pair. And so yeah, I've been thinking about sock yarns and wishing that I was more of a sock knitter. I unfortunately have not fallen in love yet with knitting socks. I think it's coming, but I need to work out the method that works best for me. The small circumference, there's just something about the tightness of my hands while I'm working on them that I just get kind of tired and end up wanting to put it down pretty quickly. So I will find a solution for that, get some beautiful sock yarns on my needles. But as I was thinking about the sock sprint, I thought, I wonder if many of you have seen a circular sock machine before. My mom happens to have one, so we're going to put in a little footage here, giving you a brief tour of what a circular sock machine is, what it looks like, what her setup is, and hopefully you'll enjoy kind of starting to jump down that rabbit hole with us. So we'll put that in here, and thank you so much for joining me today. It was great to be with you. We'll talk to you next time. Thanks. Today we are in my mom's craft room. I'm here to show you a new craft that she's recently undertaken, jumping down the rabbit hole of. She has a circular sock machine that I thought you'd be interested to see. So we'll see it in a second. Her machine is a vintage Lakewood. It was made during World War I. It's totally cast iron. The basic story or history goes that families were given these during the war to make socks for soldiers, and if they made a certain number of pairs, they could keep the machine. My mom's knitting on a 54 needle circumference, and she also has a connection for a 72 needle. She's got a ribber attachment on the side there and the whole setup. Right now she's knitting with Retrosaria Mondim, colorway 208. She's got a pair of socks on the table there that are in that same colorway with color 304 as the heel and toe. You can do the entire heels and toes on the machine by disengaging some needles to then do short rows back and forth. You just have to Kitchener the toe at the end. You can crank an entire sock in about 20 minutes if you know what you're doing step by step. So this can be kind of a fun way to work with sock yarns. It's obviously not the same feel or speed or portability as hand knitting, but also can be kind of a fun way to play with yarn in a different way. So this is a vintage machine. They can range in prices. If you get a brand new Erlbacher Gerhardt, which is a popular one, those can run about $2,400 for the entire setup. But also I've seen recently an entirely plastic machine called a Centro on Amazon for somewhere between $30 and $75. Felicia Lowe from Sweet Georgia has recently reviewed those if you're curious. Some other good resources are Jamie Mayfield. She has some great YouTube videos. Erlbacher Gerhardt's website has some great info. And CSM Love is another good website for supplies and patterns. And I just thought this was cool. My mom's got a setup for magnetically, digitally counting the number of rows that she's done. The handle has a magnet and runs past that yellow button on the side of the table, and then that digital display counts for her how many rows she's done. So hope you enjoyed this short little tour, and thanks so much.
Well, thank you, Caitlin. That was a fantastic video. Glad you're having a good vacation and getting to crank on the wheel a little bit. That's fun. So what now, Maggie? Are we talking?
I think now we're going to talk about our giveaways. So this is one way that we're celebrating turning 7 is that we have 7 amazing giveaways this month.
Prizes, yes. And we're going to give them all away at the end of the month. So you have until July 21st to enter. So if you have not entered, all you need to do is go to our website. There'll be a link below, and there is a page where you can put in your email address, and that's it. Once your email is in, you are in the running. Yes. Okay, so shall we look at this box? Okay, so we'll go through the 7 prizes as quickly as we can.
One of the prizes is, we have a problem with it. It is so full, we need a new box.
We need a new, bigger box, and this is not a small box.
This is not a small box. It's the same box that we typically use for our selection boxes and our taster boxes. And as you can see, it's such a generous and fun giveaway. I had so much fun putting this box together.
Yes. Tell us about this box then.
So this box features so many of just our well-loved yarns and
bits and pieces.
It's got a tote, a large color woolly thistle tote.
Yeah, really nice.
With our if you go out, take your knitting.
Yes.
And then just some of our favorite yarns. We have so many good yarns here in the shop, so
it's hard to pick. Stuffed to the gums.
It really is. Yeah. It is stuffed, so.
Okay, so I see a nice supply of Jamieson and Smith, 2-ply. Yeah. And then we've got a lovely Erdale, 50 grams there in 2 colors. Gosh, I mean, just look at how pretty.
I know.
Oh,
so exciting.
Oh, Rambler. 2 skeins
of Rambler.
So this is a prize that you can win all of this, not just some of it.
Right.
Somebody's going to win this whole
box.
box.
And this is just one of the prizes that we're giving away. 2
Rauma
skeins of
fennel yarn. Gorgeous. Oh gosh, I need to be knitting with that.
I know.
Yeah. All right. And then, oh my goodness.
This is a little sneaky peek.
This is a sneaky peek. This is coming to the shop soon. And this is Woolly Mammoth. Oh my gosh.
Louder for the crowd and back.
Woolly Mammoth. Shh. Don't tell anyone.
I know.
This is her. Let's see. It's the Swarbles and blue Thistle, and she had this milled up. Oh my God.
It's so nice.
Right there. So, you know, like that's not enough. Then we've got the wonderful, the regal, the gorgeous Armscott Manor Portland wool, which is so historical. I always start talking about the story of this,
I know.
but it's a medieval sheep breed. You know, it's the oldest. It's named in the Doomsday Book and all of that kind of stuff, and that's from there.
I'm running out of room here.
Oh my goodness. And then we've got Tuku Wool DK. You're fine. You'll be okay. Yeah.
I will.
Tuku Wool DK. Are these the actual skeins then? Is this the actual
This is
content?
the actual box. This is
Lucky,
it.
lucky. 2 skeins of sport weight 2-ply Ulcentrum, which is just lovely. I need to be knitting with that too.
Mm-hmm.
Look at these.
I love this.
This is coming to the shop too. This is another sneaky peek.
Yeah.
Boom, chicka boom. Look at the size of these. This is Mota from WoolDreamers.
And it is the latest to join the Woolly Thistle flock.
Yes. And these are huge. These are 100 grams. And Moda is merino mixed with manchega. And it's got such a good feel to it. So this is a Spanish breed. And it's just gorgeous.
It's so nice.
And their dye is lovely. And this natural cream goes with this so well. And just, I love their labels. We're really enjoying working with WoolDreamers. They're coming out with some really lovely yarns.
They are.
Okay, let's take some of this off of you. So it's a lot.
So much.
So much that we need a
much.
bigger box.
So, and as I said, this is just one of the prizes that we are giving away.
Yes. It's really fun though, this one. So whoever wins this, you lucky duck. So make sure you're in the running, because that would be enough
I'm
to
not
enter.
eligible.
No.
But you are. So
Yes, that's right.
hop over to the shop
and
and sign up.
sign up. Okay, other wonderful.
Other prizes. 1 Studio Donegal blanket.
Oh, sorry, Maggie.
That's okay.
It's been folded up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is so good.
These
This is
blankets
so
are
good.
so lovely.
They're lovely lap blanket size, or a large lap blanket size. These are hand woven in Ireland, custom ordered for us. And I have a couple of these now at home and I just love them. You can put them on your bed, you can put them on the back of a chair, you can wrap up in them.
Absolutely
Yeah.
wonderful. 100%
So,
wool.
100% wool. So very happy to be sharing one of these with a lucky winner.
So that is another prize.
There's going to be a Studio Donegal Dunrobin kit prize.
Yep, you get to, the winner of that one gets to choose their color.
Right. And same with Let Lopi. There'll be a Let Lopi prize, and you get to choose your color of that. Oh, do you want to show this?
Do. One of the other prizes is comes in a nice little duster bag.
Yeah.
And it is our Harris Tweed tote.
Gorgeous. Handmade.
This is exactly like the one that I have. It's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
I love my bag.
It's hard wearing.
It is
looks
absolutely
good
hard
forever.
wearing. It
And
has the authentic Harris Tweed label on it.
it fits a large laptop as well, which is
Yeah.
pretty nice.
So I do keep knitting in mine and books in the front.
Yeah.
But you could easily use this for.
I use mine for coming back and forth to work, so my
Yeah.
big laptop goes
You
in
have a
there.
couple now.
I have a
You
couple,
used
yeah.
one for.
I do use one for knitting.
Yeah.
The purple one I use for
And you
knitting.
can see in there it's co-branded.
Yeah.
Which is so nice.
Yeah, we
Love
love
them.
working with Studio Tolsta. They're amazing.
They're so nice.
I should mention too, just a little sneaky peek for watching, is that they're working on our next order of the zippered sock pouches, and there's going to be a few new colors. We're bringing back the most favorite colors, and there's some new colors in there, so that'll be coming at some point.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's that. How many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we've got a vanilla sweater kit, so you'll get to pick your color of that.
Yes. And a $200 gift card to the Woolly Thistle.
Well, you just get to run hog wild with $200 in the shop. That sounds awful.
That does. No.
So yeah, so any one of these prizes. So please go enter your email if you haven't already. The system knows if you've already entered before, so it's one entry per person.
Yeah.
And go ahead and put your email in and tell your friends so that, you know, they can join in the fun too. For sure. We're very excited about this.
I did hear, I was helping out in email, and I did hear from a couple of customers where when they got to that page, they couldn't see the form. So make sure to turn off any ad blockers on that page. That I think sometimes that blocks the form.
Gotcha.
Or try a different browser type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's there.
It is there. So go ahead, go sign up and be eligible to win
any one of these amazing prizes. We feel very happy to be doing such a great prize to celebrate our birthday. Yeah.
And I think, as we said earlier too, share with your friends.
Yes.
Shout out.
Oh, and not just that, but we're also doing a community building exercise in the month of July for our birthday. So we're asking you to knit little, what do you call these? Bunting flags. And this is Tin Can Knits, and Tina knitted this one.
So cute.
That's Jamieson and Smith. This one here's Rauma. And this one, Tina's daughter knit. What a great job she did. So that is in, I think that's Donegal.
I think so.
Yeah. Studio
Tina knitted
Donegal.
a sweater.
She did, that's right. So there is a form online on the shop where you can print it off and send it in with your bunting. And if everybody knit a bunting, that would just decorate this place up so nicely. So that's what we're hoping. If you feel moved to, the one I knitted here, you know, like less than an hour.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have Rachel to go visit, and we're going to go visit her right away. But before we do, just want to make sure you know that we still have sock bags that are going away soon. So if you're at all inclined, get it before they're gone. There's two choices. And we had Ammonite go live on Saturday, which was when Rachel launched it with Dunrobin. You guys really showed up for it, which is wonderful. We are the only US stockist to have it. We're very proud and happy for that honor. And there is still a little bit left. So if you're interested in that, I would grab that too. Okay, is there anything else we need to share before we go to Rachel over there in Farrell?
Yeah, I don't know if let's come back after Rachel.
All right, we'll be back after Rachel. Ta-da!
Hi Woolly Thistlers, it's Rachel from Barkland Craft here in Fair Isle. You'll be pleased to know that June has been a great month weather-wise. Yes, we've had fog, yes, we've had the odd bit of rain, but most importantly, we've had quite a lot of days of really good weather, sunny, warm, not too much of a breeze, and that has meant that I've been able to start clipping or shearing the sheep. So here are some photos and video clips showing some of those being done. As soon as the sun came out, Mungo decided that he couldn't wait any longer for me to clip him, so decided to get rid of his coat himself, which left him looking rather scraggly. Saucepan was very chilled out and relaxed. I just love his little ringlets on his chest. And you can see here he has a really good rise to his fleece. When we talk about rise, it's sort of that gap between the skin and the old fleece, which looks very sort of stringy, which makes it really easy to clip. There we go, all done, and off he goes. Here's Marble in his before shot. So I start off by tipping them up, and I'll sit them up against my legs so I can check their hooves and trim their bellies. And hairy bellies are always my nemesis. I love Marble's coat, there are so many different colours in it. There we are, getting through the job. Their legs are tied just really for their safety, to stop them flailing around. And there we go, job done, fleece off. And I think he looks much happier and cooler here. Another sheepy update for you with regards to clipping, shearing the sheep is those of you that have so very kindly signed up for my Adopt a Sheep scheme. You'll be pleased to know that I'm getting through clipping the sheep. I've been saving up the locks of fleece from the individual sheep, and you can see some of them here. I've got them sectioned off so I know whose bits of fleece come from which sheep. And I'll hope to be, once I've finished clipping, I'm hoping to be able to send all of those out probably at the end of let's see, potentially end of July. I've probably jinxed that, we'll get nothing but rain in July now. But certainly by August I would hope to have those sent out to you, and following that probably September will be the next video update from your adopted sheep. I would just like to say all of the introductory videos for everyone that had adopted a sheep were sent out by May, or sort of in May, sorry. If you haven't received your introductory video from your adopted sheep, please do let me know. I know some people have had problems with my email address starts with info@, and apparently there's some kind of filter with some email accounts that will automatically send those addresses to your junk or spam folder. So do check your junk or spam folder if you haven't received your video, but please drop me a line, whether it's via Instagram, that's Barkland_Croft, or via email to info@b-croft.co.uk, and I'll be sure to get that sent out to you again as soon as possible. Not only has the sunny weather been good for getting the sheep clipped, but it's also seen loads of wildflowers start to pop up around the aisle, on the grass verges and in the fields, such as squill, lady's smock, dog violet, kidney vetch, heath spotted orchid, eyebright, red campion, northern marsh orchids, sea pinks or thrift, bird's foot trefoil, tormentil, and wild thyme. I know some of you will have been busy knitting the Buggy Fleur beanie, the Shetland Wool Week hat for this year, so I thought you might like to see some Buggy Fleurs or sea campion growing in my garden. This is just a warning that I'm now going to be talking about, unfortunately, the death of one of my lambs, and there is a photo of the dead lamb. So if you'd rather not listen to or see this, I completely understand, and if you want to fast forward for 1 minute, we'll see you on the other side. Unfortunately, despite all the sunshine and good things that have happened in June, there's been one really sad thing, and that is my sweet little Merrylegs passed away. She was just over 3 weeks old. She'd been such a happy and lively lamb with nothing wrong with her, and then unfortunately she got bloat and died. I did everything I could to save her. I treated her with everything I've used in the past to treat bloat, but sadly it just wasn't enough. I filled her grave with straw and flowers, and then covered her up with a blanket of beautiful flowers too. She's buried next to our sweet Blossom, and hopefully one day their graves will be covered in flowers. June is the time of the simmer dim in Shetland, where we get almost 24 hours of daylight. This clip was taken after midnight, and it was a bit cloudy, so you don't get the full effect of how light it really is. For the last 7 years, I've got up at 3 o'clock in the morning on the day of the summer solstice to try and get a photo of the sun rising, and for 7 years it's been foggy year after year. So that photo was 3 o'clock in the morning, and this was a few hours later, and as you can see, Saucepan is very unhappy with the weather and wants to know what I've done with the sunshine. Sadly, the fog didn't really lift all day, and I couldn't even get a shot of the sunset, but here's midnight. The lambs are growing. Here's Butterscotch and her little boy lamb. And Mary, Minnie Milk and Rosebud had their first day out in the big field whilst I was there clipping sheep. And of course Tortuga came along to supervise them. But they seemed to have a great day, and Mary was happy wandering around. She didn't let her lack of sight get in the way of exploring. At the end of the month, I found one of my yows, Grace, had got stuck on her side in a very, very shallow dip you can just about make out here. She hadn't been there very long as there wasn't much poop around, which was a good sign, but she was unable to stand or walk. So I took up biscuits and hay for her to eat, some water that I could syringe into her because she couldn't drink from the bucket, and gave her some of this yow drink, which is basically an energy drink to try and give them a bit of a boost. I kept checking on her every hour or so, but even after overnight she still couldn't stand. So it was on to plan B, seeing as she was a good 15 minutes walk from the house and byre. Luckily, my neighbour Ian stepped in and very kindly brought his big tractor up so we could put her in the bucket and get her safely and quickly down to the house and garden. The lambs and Scampy were really excited to have a new friend, and it was good being able to have Grace so close to me that I could just nip out frequently, check on her, make sure she'd not gone back over on her side, syringe her some liquids, give her some treats and nice things to eat too. Each day, every few hours, I've been putting Grace over an old silage bale, which means I can do what I call physical therapy on her legs. So bending and extending them, rubbing them, just making sure the circulation's going and trying to encourage movement in her legs. It also means that while she's in this position, she can drink normally from the bucket rather than me having to syringe fluids into her. And at the end of the day, she has a nice cosy bed to snooze on. After a couple of days, we hadn't seen any improvement in Grace in her ability to stand. She was completely bright and happy in herself, just something obviously wrong with her legs. So Scampy decided she would give Grace a massage to see if that would help. And I think she quite enjoyed it. Thank you so much to all of you that continue to support me on Ko-fi and Patreon. I honestly cannot tell you the difference it has made for me, or not me personally, but for the sheep, in terms of normally by this time of year, by June, I'm already having sleepless nights about how I'm going to earn enough money to pay for the winter feed bill, the shipping costs, the transport costs. It all adds up, and you know, I'm every sort of summer I'm already getting more grey hairs just worrying about it. But your support has meant that I've been able to buy little bits every few weeks of feed, hard feed for the sheep. I can store them up, and it will mean that I've got enough money in the bank now that I'm able to buy in as much extra silage, haylage that I need to keep them going. So thank you so much to all of you that are supporting me on those platforms. On Patreon, I really hope that you're enjoying the videos that I'm putting out for you. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Thank you. And on the topic of Patreon, it seems that I can now offer a free trial on it. So if any of you might be interested in learning a little bit more about my Patreon account, or what I do here in Fair Isle, the sheep, the island, I've made my middle tier, so that's I think $5 a month. I've made that available as a free sign up, and that gives you, I believe, 7 days access to it. If you don't want to continue with a subscription after that, that's absolutely fine. But I know sometimes things that have a subscription to start with, if you don't have a huge deal, disposable kind of income, it can sometimes put you off signing up for something if you don't know what you're going to be getting. So hopefully, if any of you have maybe been considering my Patreon account, then this will give you the perfect opportunity to have a few days free trial. You can see the kind of videos I'm putting out there, the kinds of things I'm sharing on the Patreon site with you. And if you want to carry on with the subscription, you'd be very, very welcome to join us there. And I'll put details down below of how to reach the Patreon site. 6 years ago, in 2017, I met Corinne for the first time. Her mum Pam was living next door to me. She was my next door neighbour for a while here in the island, and Corinne and her family came over to visit Pam. And so I met very briefly, I think it was one day she was coming down the road, I was going up the road, met Corinne and we had a chat, and I seem to remember either she was wearing a Kate Davies sweater, which I recognised, or we had a conversation about Kate Davies. But anyway, it was lovely to meet a fellow kind of woolly enthusiast. And I remember Pam telling me that Corinne had an audio podcast. So I found that, and that was when I started following Corinne and the Woolly Thistle, and it was great. I remember kind of the following sort of couple of years, whilst it was still an audio podcast, I would download them, and then when I was doing tasks like sorting fleeces out in the barn, it would give me something to listen to and really enjoy while I was doing kind of mindless tasks. I learnt an awful lot through Corinne, just through the audio podcasts, things like talking about gauge when hand knitting, the different weights of yarn, things that probably most of you experienced knitters will take for granted, but as someone who that length of time ago was only really starting to become a hand knitter, to get into it, these were slightly mysterious concepts to me, and it was really heartening to hear that, you know, Corinne, and I hope she doesn't mind me saying this, isn't one of these knitters who everything they knit turns out perfectly and they say, oh, I just knitted this in 2 days, and oh yes, everything was marvellous, it all worked according to plan. I'm so glad that she has struggles with her knitting, or, you know, doesn't get gauge or something goes wrong, and that she shares that with us, because I hope you'll agree it makes us feel better that we're not the only ones that struggle sometimes with our knitting. So I found it the most encouraging and informative podcast, I really did. And she does have one episode where she talks about her time here in Fair Isle. She has an interview with Anne Sinclair talking about the history of Fair Isle knitting, which is really fascinating. So if you haven't listened to that one before, then do check it out. Anyway, very long-winded introduction into coming up to talking about the Woolly Thistle and its 7-year anniversary. I just want to say a massive congratulations, first of all, to Corinne and the team at the Woolly Thistle. It's such a stellar achievement that in such a short space of time you've gone from being based in Corinne's garage, I think it was, and now you have your huge sort of warehouse, depot, retail premises, where you've got loads of employees, you're helping give people employment, you're keeping us all happy, you're getting so many different ranges of yarns in. It's so fantastic to see an amazing business that's just growing and growing and bringing joy to so many people. And speaking of joy, I just want to say, get really emotional. I just want to say a huge thank you to all of you, to Corinne, to Maggie, to Emma, to Grady, to Caitlin, Kelsey, Kim, all of you behind the scenes at the Woolly Thistle who we've maybe not met face to face on the podcast. But I just want to say such a massive thank you for all the support that you've given me over the last couple of years, 2.5 years almost, by inviting me to share bits of my life here in Fair Isle on the podcast with all the Woolly Thistlers. It has made such a difference to me. I can't stress that enough. The friendships that it has made. I know I'm probably never going to meet most of these people in real life, but just to have people supporting me on social media or Patreon, the comments after all the Shopcast videos, the financial support that you've given me, the publicity you've given me for my yarn, I genuinely can't thank you enough. I am so grateful. Oh, goodness me. Anyway, this is meant to be a happy occasion. I put on my special party frock, my celebratory headband. I just want to say a huge congratulations and thank you. And here's to the next 7 years of all things the Woolly Thistle. Thank you so much.
So I just wanted to share our appreciation for Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
We love working with Rachel.
Yes.
And I'm so delighted that she shares herself with us.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have her.
We really
coming
are.
from Fair Isle.
Yeah. So I was just very touched to hear her wishing us a happy 7th birthday.
Yes,
and
thank
hearing
you.
the impact that the Woolly Thistle and our community and all of you have had on her life.
Aw.
And that was just really wonderful. So
Yeah.
thank you all for being here for us. Thank you for being here for Rachel.
Yes. And thank you for being here at all. And yes, I know everybody loves Rachel. She's so hardworking and so genuine and shares a lot with us. And coming from Fair Isle, which was a place that I didn't even know was a real place maybe 10 years ago. I just knew, there was Fair Isle knitting, and to have our friend there on the island where it all started is pretty amazing. And so Rachel, keep doing what you're doing. We love you. And is there anything else, or shall we zoom on over to the live now?
I think let's zoom on over to the live.
All right, I hope you can join us. We hope you have a wonderful Friday. Cast on a pair of socks, and we'll see you in the live. And we'll be back in a couple of weeks, back on our usual schedule, Maggie. Yeah. All right, I think all that's left to say is if you go out,
Take your knitting.
bye.